cutting my brand new Toyota Tundra to add more storage. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Automotive FST. And that's right, today I am finally going to be cutting my brand new Toyota Tundra to add more rear storage. Now, if you're not familiar with this, it's just a drop-in plastic storage bin, I'll call it, that you put in the rear under the seats. Now, to do that, you have to do a little bit of cutting. You got to remove some carpet, and you have to remove some foam underneath, and then it will just slip in via these areas here. So, it comes in a box, and if you happen to get this, there will be links down below if you want to check out price and availability and all that stuff. But if you happen to get it, make sure that you save the box, because on the back of the box is the pattern that you cut out to lay down on your carpeted area so that you know where to cut. So, first step in this, obviously, other than inspecting it when it's taken out of the box, and the one thing I like about this, there's not a lot of pieces and parts. There's just that tray. So you can't be missing anything unless you're missing the tray. So, I'm going to sit this down, cut it out, get the pattern ready, and then I'll show you where it goes in the back, and then we're going to cut my brand new Toyota Tundra. And here we go, and I am going to make this a little more complicated than it has to be, I'm sure. But I want it to be right. I'm using a steel straight edge that I'm going to put along every line, and then just a carpet knife to cut it. Not too complicated as far as that goes. I am going to try to cut on the outside of the line that they have given as opposed to the inside. It does look like they just drew this on here. I don't know. That's kind of what it looks like to me, but who knows? Who cares as long as it's right. Got it all cut out. Now there's one other thing you probably should check, which I'm going to check before you move on, and that is, does the pattern fit around the little places that it needs to fit around, right? And keep in mind, it does matter which way you put it. It is marked top. So when you go to cut inside, make sure that that is visible. And what I'm talking about is right here. Because if it isn't, you're going to cut it opposite of how it should be. How do I know that? Because I tried to fit this on this way and it doesn't fit. You can see everything is skewed, right? So it definitely makes a difference. Turn it around the right way so that the top is the top when you have it in, and make sure that everything fits. You'll notice here, I'm concerned about the holes. That's what I'm concerned about, that they all fit correctly, and they do. You can see here everything is fitting in there, no issues. And also where your cutouts are, to make sure that they encompass where the cutouts are in the truck, and they fit as well. So next up, we need to take this thing and lay it down in the truck as to where it's going to go, and then use a marker. They say a crayon. By the way, it does come with instructions and even a 1-800 number that you can call if you have problems, which I like. Hopefully it works. Hopefully I don't need it. But anyway, a crayon or a marker, I'm going to try to use like one of those silver or gold colored markers that should show up on the carpet, I think. And I'm going to lay this in there, trace it all out, and then all you're going to cut out are the holes, obviously. So don't make the mistake of cutting out the whole pattern. You're only cutting out the holes where these pieces are going to fit, right? So let's get it inside the truck. All right, we've got the pattern all laid out in here the proper way, where it says top on the top. And just a little tip for you, these little cutout areas do go right up against the brackets that hold the seats on. So before you draw your outline, you want to make sure, and I'm using the outside edge here on both sides as my standard, I guess. But they do go around the edges like so, and then you'll want to push this flat when you go ahead and trace out your pattern before you cut, and they should be in line all the way across if you've cut them correctly, and everything should fit good. These little slots or cutout areas should fit over these bolts. That's the idea. And there are notches on the back where it comes up, if you will, to fit over the edges of the bracket itself. So I'm going to go ahead and trace it out, and then I'll show you a little bit of cutting. That should be interesting. I did get a knife to cut with, primarily to go down through the foam, not to cut the carpet. And that is this great big long knife. They call it an insulation knife. You can see how big it is. That's what I'm going to use to cut the foam after I get the carpet off. Okay, another quick little tip for you. I did tape them all down, as you can see, just to hold the pattern in place while I trace. It does want to move around a little bit, and I did trim the inside edges of these little cutouts just so it would fit flat, so I'm actually tracing down on the carpet and not with a void in between. Okay, just going to go ahead and trace the lines. Pretty simple to do. It's not rocket science. I'm just using a silver Sharpie, and it is showing up really well on the carpet, so it should give me what I need, and that's it. So I'm going to go ahead, trace the rest, and we'll come on and do some cutting, the scary part. There's a quick look for you. I'd say my lines came out pretty well. I shouldn't have any problem being able to figure out where to cut. Okay, here we go. Wish me luck. I did already cut this edge with just a straight edge, but then I found I didn't have enough room in here for that straight edge to be able to fit, even though it's cavernous back here. So I'm going to do it freehand. Hopefully that goes well. Let's go ahead and make a cut here. Just make sure that you have a very sharp knife. And this one is very sharp. Wow. Well, that was easy. Let's do this one. Okay, that wasn't too bad. That's it. Now, one thing I do want to note, and it says this in the instructions, in the center hole on the driver's side, there is a electrical line, I guess, a wire. If you have push start and a 2020 Toyota Tundra. I don't have push start, nor do I have a 2020, but I'm still going to be careful once I cut through the foam. This is supposed to be under the foam on top of the metal deck. So we're going to be careful when we do that. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can't pull out these squares, hopefully. And by the way, they should be attached to a little bit of insulation, you know, like you have in your house under the carpeting. So you're going to have that mess to deal with before you actually get to the foam, which should be right underneath. So let's pull this off and see what it looks like. Okay, see if I can get a corner or something. Ah, there we go. And I'm just going to kind of go along the edges, make sure I got a good clean cut, which I didn't there. So there. And right along this edge. That's good. Nice clean cuts. That is why you want a nice sharp knife. And a little bit still on this edge, so well, maybe not. Yeah, right there. Just a thread. That's it. So let's pop the top. See what kind of mess we're looking at under here. Here we go. I am not going to reuse these carpeted pieces. They do say in the instructions to save them, to put them underneath for sound deadening, I imagine. I actually got sound deadening. There's what it looks like, and that undoubtedly is for sound deadening. And then there's the hole that we're going to cut out. Neat how it says right hand here. PP, what does this say? It says there's a part number apparently, and then something here, and then it says RH, which I assume is right hand. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and pull the rest of these out, clean them up a little bit, and then we'll cut this foam. Alright, we've got it cleaned up, all the top carpet pieces pulled out. Now I'm going to attempt to cut the foam. This should be interesting. I do have my long knife over there, although I have found it's not very sharp. So I'm going to kind of saw at it a little bit. It should take the foam all the way down to the metal. I'll probably trace the hole with the carpet knife before, just to get a good line going. So that's what's up next. I've done 2 already, and I thought I would include you guys on the final one, this one over here. No need to pre-cut it. I just dive in. Make sure you have a long, fairly sharp knife. It really does help. One that's serrated would probably be better, but then you'll have more garbage to clean up afterwards. So let me sit you down. I'm gonna do a complete one here so you guys can see at least how I do it anyway. Again, just starting with a serrated knife, or a regular knife I should say, in the corner. By the way, in the center here, I'll show you, it was mentioned that there might be a wire in here if you have push start or a 2020 and a 2020. You can see right there is no wire. Of course, I do not have push start, nor do I have a 2020, but if you do and you don't have push start, it looks like there's nothing to worry about. So let's delve into the last one here. We're going to kind of saw. Get started till you hit the bottom, and then follow your guide, your cutout, and just saw. Make sure you don't slip down the knife and cut your fingers off or anything crazy. Okay, there's one side. Now I'm going to hop in here to do the next one. And of course they say never cut towards yourself, right? Well, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Okay, there's that one. Now we're going to hit this one here. I will admit, it is no fun doing this when it's 93 degrees outside. Thank goodness for sweatbands, that's all I gotta say. Okay, you get the idea. Moment of truth. Let's see if it fits before I get on to the final part that I've added for myself. And this side looks like it's going to be good. Let me go around, check the other side. Okay. I'll be darned. Looks like everything fits. Perfect, perfect. Now we're going to get on to the step I've added, which is sound deadening. I'll show you what I'm going to do for that. This is what I'm using. That's what it looks like. I've got a piece out over here, and I've just traced out the hole. I'm going to use the pattern once again to trace out the holes, hoping that it's close. This does not have to be perfect. I'm going to cut out a square. I'm going to cut out 2 more squares. I'm going to cut out 6 more squares, or 3 more squares, so a total of 6. Because I'm going to put some of this sound deadening on the bottom of the unit itself. And since you're supposed to put the carpeting underneath, which is obviously thicker, I should have plenty of room to do that. So all I'm going to do, I've got one marked up already, hoping to get as much out of this as I can. I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. Okay, got all the insulation, or sound deadening rather, cut out. Here's what I'm going to put on. This is what it's going to look like. Of course, I'll roll it. These are adhesive backed, so you just pull the cover off and then stick them on and then roll them down with a roller, and that's it. I'll do all of these, and then I'll do it inside the truck as well. This stuff is very, very sticky, as you would want it to be, right? So if I didn't screw up my direction here, hopefully I should be able to just lay it on there. Yeah, I think I had it this way. I don't know, you guys will let me know, I'm sure. But here we go. And this doesn't have to be perfect either, because of course you're never going to see it. So you just put it on like so, push it down, not a big deal, and then roll it. Don't push too hard, because you are pushing against plastic, so you don't want to, you know, destroy your plastic, but you do want good adhesion for it, although it shouldn't go anywhere. I mean, it is going to be on the bottom underneath, pushing down from the top, so just roll it gently. You don't have to kill it. Okay, all the outside is done. Now we're on the inside. We're going to start behind the passenger seat. Hopefully I've cut this stuff well, because it's very sticky. Once you get it in there, you don't move it. Looks good. let's go ahead and rip off the covering. There we go. And then see if I can get it in there straight. That's my goal anyway. Like I said, once you get it in, it's in, so not really a lot of room for correction. There we go. That fit pretty good. Take a look, see how it looks in there. Not too bad. Again, just trying to deaden the sound since we don't have the insulation or the carpet anymore. Now, if one really wanted to go crazy, you could put sound deadening around the opening. I'm not going to go crazy. I'm just going to do the floors. So I'm going to go ahead and roll them out, put the other ones in, and I'll show you what it looks like, and then we'll drop the storage bin inside. All right, everything is done. There's what the sound deadening looks like inside. Hopefully it'll work. Just a little bit of a precautionary addition, I guess. So now I'm going to set the bin, the storage bin, inside, and we'll be done. We'll take a look. All right, there you go. That's it. It's in. It's sound deadened. It's ready for stuff. Pretty good fit. You can see across the front here, you have a little bit of a lip, which is exactly what I wanted. Looks pretty equidistant to me. Fits around the edges of the bolts, so you can still have access to the bolts if you wanted it for some reason. I don't know why you would. Nice and snug on the sides. I am going to check. Let's go around the other side. I want to see how close it is here on the other side. If it matches, looks like it's the same over here. That's good. And looks the same down the front edge as well. We are clearing the bolts. The little edges here are over, which is good. That's what we want. It all looks pretty good to me. And it might conform a little bit in the heat, a little bit more even. I mean, it's pretty close now, if not perfect. But once this thing heats up. How about the seats going down on it? There you go. Can we see anything under there? It's right up against the bottom of the seat, you can see there, but I don't believe it's impeding it in any way. So that's cool. The only thing you'd have to watch out for is obviously overfilling the bins. I mean, you don't want stuff sticking up above, obviously, or it will be in the bottom of your seat. I like it. I think it came out really, really well. So there you have it. The project is done. It took me, filming and everything, I bet I probably spent about 3 hours on this. But a lot of stops for filming and setting up a camera and all that good stuff. Probably about anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. It'll take you to do this if you're being careful. And I would suggest being careful. You are cutting into your truck. Take time to do it. Don't rush it. Anyway, leave a comment. Let me know what you think of it. I'd be curious to know if you've done it before. Did it come out as smoothly as this? Also, real quick, I do have 2 additional channels. Automotive, all about my 2020 Toyota Tacoma, sitting out there in the rain now. And Automotive JT, about my 2020 Jeep Gladiator. Check them out, and if you're interested, why not subscribe? Don't forget to click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. And do me a favor, smash that subscribe button on the way out. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.